Hello, my wonderful students. How are you doing today? Hope you are doing great. Last week, we treated business letter and we talked about the styles of writing business letters. Do you remember? The styles includes the use of block style, indented style, and hanging style. The block style is usually started writing from the left hand margin to the right hand margin, while the indented style, on the first line, you leave 5 spaces to the right hand margin, and subsequent lines in that paragraph, you start from the left hand margin. And the hanging style, you will start typing from the left hand margin on the first line, and the subsequent lines, you will leave 2 line spaces. Today, we'll be looking at the business letter 2. Business letter 2. But what we are going to, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the following terms. A, subject heading. B, enclosure. C, letterhead. D, carbon paper. And E, flimsy. So each of these terms will be treated today. Let's start with parts of business letter. When you're writing business letter, there are some parts that business letter is divided into. You know, we treated last the styles of writing it, but this time, the parts that you observe in writing business letter. Number 1, heading. Heading has to do with the information about the company. What are these information we're talking about? They are the name of the company, the address that the company operates from, the telephone number that you can use to reach the organization whenever you need to make an inquiry or if you have information for them. Those are the things that is in the heading of the part of the business letter. Another part of business letter is opening. Opening. The opening comprises of the department you want to write the letter to, who you are directing it to in that department, and you address it, you give it an attention line, such as dear sir, dear ma'am, either the HOD of the department, and so on and so forth. The next part of the business letter is body. You can imagine body, is it my body or your body? No. But we can liken it to our body. You know, our body from the head to toe, it has to do with everything that makes us to be human. But the body of the letter is saying the main points of writing the letter. It is in the body that you write the main points of writing the letter from A to Z, just like your own body from head to toe. So that is body. You can give it another name, which is message of the letter. Either message of the letter or the body of the letter. We have another part of business letter, which is the closing. The closing. At the closing, from the word closing, you can say when something is said to be closing, that means it's coming to an end. That means you are concluding. That means you are wrapping it up. You want to bring it to an end. That means the letter that you are writing, you want to put a stop to it. How do you put a stop to it? This is when you write the complimentary closing, just faithfully, that you write it there. And you write your name, you write your signature there. Those are the things that will be at the closing. Your name, that is the writer's name and the signature of the writer, having written your complimentary closing. Those are the parts of business letter. Number one part, we have heading, we have opening, we have body, and we have closing. Then that moves us to types of heading. Whenever you are writing a letter, you might have noticed that there are some specific heading there, and there are some headings that comes along the line. All these headings have names, and we're going to unfold it one after the other. The first type is main heading. Main heading. Main heading is usually at the top of the letter. That's why they said main heading. Take for an instance, if I want to write a letter to request for money from my boss, I can say request for loan or request for IOU. Are you getting what I'm trying to say here? That request will be in capital letter all through, and you can underline it. And it, as short and concise as it is, it has meaning to really show what you need in the letter, what you needed in the letter. Main heading is usually at the top of the letter, and it gives you a direct idea of the whole message from the main heading. You can do, oh, request for loan. Definitely this person needs money. Every other thing that you're going to write there, the person have already had the knowledge why you are writing. And when after you have written it in capital letter, you don't place it at the edge, left edge or right edge. You place it at the center of the paper and you write it in capital letter. Don't forget. That's why we have the example of it here as application for the post of executive director. So they knew that you are applying for the post of executive director. Every subsequent thing that you would tell that makes you to qualify for being the executive director of such organization will be written in the body of the letter. But the main heading has to do with application for the post of executive director. Let's move to another types of heading, which is subheading. Subheading. I told you that when you are writing or when you are reading some letters, you see that some has particular main heading. Then when you are reading it, you see some subsequent small heading points. Those small points can be said to be subheadings, and it is usually part of the main heading, but it comes out as points under the main heading. Are you with me? It comes out as points under the main heading that you want them to seriously pay attention to. The first letter is always in capital letter. You can type other ones in small letter so that it will be clear. And then when you write subheading, there is usually column to tell you that there are still some points, some explanation that you want to make in front of the subheading. Then the next one is paragraph heading. It is the heading that begins a paragraph. It is the heading that begins a paragraph. The first letter is usually typed in capital letter and the subsequent ones in small letters. When you are writing paragraph, you don't lump together all your words. You give it line spacing. It depends on what you are writing. If it is lengthy scripts, you give it single line spacing. If it is short script, you can give it double line spacing. Not only giving it line spacing, this is what I called line spacing. This here, and here and here. These are line spacing. But the spaces in between each character is the character spacing. And when you are typing paragraph, you start the paragraph heading, you start it with capital letter. Then subsequent ones will be in small letter. Then the next one is the shoulder heading. This one stands separately on its own. You can write it in small letter, but the initial character will start with capital letter as well. Then you must underline it. You must underline it. But if it is in all capital letter, it's not mandatory to underline it. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? When you start writing the first letter with capital letter and the subsequent ones with small letter, you underline it. But if you write everything out in capital letter, there will be no need for underlining. The next one is carbon paper. How many of you have seen carbon paper? Okay, I know you must have been familiar with carbon paper. Carbon paper can be in blue color, it can be in black color. It depends on the color it comes with. But it is a sheet that you put in between two sheets so that it can produce duplicates of the copy of the first document. It's usually used when you go to market to go and buy goods, most especially when they want to issue you receipt after payment. They will put the carbon paper under the two sheets of the receipt so that whatever they are writing at the top of it, it will be reflecting, duplicating at the second sheet as well without copying it second time. It can be either in black or blue color. The last is, the next one is flimsy paper. Flimsy paper. They are tiny paper of different colors. It's like carbon copies as well that you use as file copy. They're like carbon copy as well that you use as file copy. When you are copying something for someone, you tear that one for that person, not that you tear it and rough it, that is just for you to tear it neatly and give the person their copy, and you keep the file copy in the organization file. And the last is the letterhead. Letterhead, it's like a form of identity for an organization. Whenever is used, you don't need to ask from which organization, because every detail that you needed about the organization is on the letterhead. It is the information about the company, such as the name of the company, the telephone number, the address of the organization, and so on and so forth. Those are the things that you see on the letterhead of the organization. We have come to the end of today's lesson, but let's quickly have a recap of what we treated today. We treated letter, business letter, and under the business letter, we treated the part of business letter. And the part of business letter includes heading, which comprises of the information about the company, the name, the address, and the telephone number of the organization, the opening, which tells you the company, the department that you are addressing it to, the person that you are addressing it to in that department, the address and the attention line, then the body, which is the main point of writing the letter that you are writing. Then you have the closing. The closing has to do with that the company, the letter is coming to an end. So you wrap it up, you conclude it by writing your own name, writing your own signature in it. Then there are types of headings. Number one, main heading, which is the main message that you are passing across. Once they see, they can tell of what you have in the letter. We have subheading. It is out of the main heading, but point that is being highlighted out of the main heading. You usually type it, the first letter in capital letter and the rest letters in small letter. We have paragraph heading. is as well usually starts with capital letter as the first letter and subsequent letter character in small letter, and you underline it, but it begins the new paragraph. Then shoulder heading stands on its own separately. It can be written in small letter or initially capital letter and subsequently small letter, or you will write it out capital letter outrightly. And when you write it out in capital letter, there's no need for you to underline, but you write it out in small letters, you underline them. Then carbon paper, they are the paper that you put in between two sheets to give you a duplicate of what you are writing on the first sheet of the papers. Then it comes in two colors, blue and black. Flimsy paper, it is the copy of the organization. When you are writing, you don't need to put carbon paper on top of it. It's usually carbonated, kind of. So what you're writing on top will be reflecting there, and it serves as the copy of the file copy of the organization. The reference here is that lesson note has been uploaded in our website by the subject teacher. Hi. Then you can as well use AS Omotiole's Comprehensive Business Studies as reference. Until we meet in the next class, I want to ask you to be of a good behavior and stay safe. Have a great day and be